Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see all of you to discuss today about micromobility. And it's especially an honor for me because exactly 3 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you were. We were about 1 year into making Miloo, and we came here to meet like-minded people and to challenge a little bit our ideas. So my interest for micromobility didn't start then. I spent about 10 years in the automotive industry, and I lived 15 years abroad between Asia and America. And all of these experiences really got me thinking about mobility. Maybe by the end of my presentation, what I was hoping to give you is to give you a little bit of the learning I got, because 3 years ago, I got challenged a lot, and I hope that by the presentation, you will also hear a different perspective about the industry. The first learning, I'm here to share about learning, right? The first learning we had was to we said, okay, let's challenge a little bit the establishment. Today, most of the people own a car and share micromobility. But today, if you look, owning a car and sharing micromobility is becoming a little bit expensive and is full of challenge and restrictions. And we thought, but wait a minute, moving is about being free. So why don't we change something or challenge a little bit? And we foresee that there will be a swap between basically the ownership status of shared and owned, from owning basically your micromobility vehicle and sharing your long distance. And the second insight we had came from the history of bikes, and we heard a little bit about it with the mayor of Amsterdam. Bikes used to be like horses, right? So they used to be a mean of transport that became obsolete with the car and then moved back to be a vehicle. Horses are still a leisure, but bikes now are changing to become a mean of transport. And this is why we needed to really approach this a little bit differently and not be like a traditional bike where you put engine and a battery on it. We needed to create really a vehicle. And this is when we got us thinking, let's create a vehicle. But wait a minute. If you need to really create a vehicle and replace the car, you need to create a bike that can replace the car. And if our traditional belief always say, okay, city, you need to have a small car, or a small bike, and if that logic was the same for everything, you could actually think that everybody will drive a smart car in the city. But today, 50% of the people drive an SUV. And this is why we started to think, you know what, we need to create an e-SUV bike. But you would ask me, is an e-SUV bike really a category? Certainly in 2018 it was not a category. But today, interestingly, in 2021, exactly like the car industry is, now is the fastest growing category of e-bikes, at least in Switzerland. And this is why I was quite honored to present to you our range of products. So you have, for example, here our 25-kilometer e-bike, and here our 45-kilometer e-bike. Both of them, and our philosophy is that we do two models that you can customize to your needs. So you have, for example, over there, thin tire. Here you have thicker tires. You have the cargo version, the more elegant version. And so you can also choose your colors. But today, we're also here to talk about what's next at Miloo. And as I was sharing, so we are focusing really on listening to our customers. Because before we came, to creating this bike, maybe you would like to know a little bit about who we are. We are a direct-to-consumer brands. We own our own shops. We believe in simplicity. So instead of going to a shop where you present a lot of models, we offer you two that we fully customize. And one thing very important, we are Swiss, and that means for us quality and customer satisfaction. It's super important and obvious, but it's not always a given in the industry. So in that context, we took all the learnings because we own our own shop, and like Taco said, you are in direct contact with the customers. Because of that, we actually could design our next generation of the absolute ultimate e-SUV, and it's the first time it's on stage today. It's called the Explorer Beast. Some of the specs, and I will tell you very quickly, but you saw it already on the stage, but it's full carbon with extremely powerful engine. And there's a few things that I just wanted to mention. Maybe you saw a little bit the video, so I will explain it quickly, but it has the possibility to have a double battery. One of the latest new technology that we will launch soon is that the double battery, there is a plug on the bike, so you don't need to have, like for example, you have in the 45 that we have now, 2 external battery. You can have one hidden in a bag with a plug, which means you can decide, depending on the length of the trip that you want to do, to take it, plug it in or take it out. But on top of that, we're also introducing the first renting solutions of batteries. So you want to buy your bike with one battery. You're not sure if you need 2 for your everyday, right? So you will be able to have, we have our swapping cabinets to either you always rent it for as a monthly fee, and you can always go and swap it, or you can rent it per time. So let's say that day you really want to explore or have fun, you can go with our app up, you unplug it, and you can always plug it to your bike. That was one new innovation. And the second one is that, of course, as we said, technology comes as a given. So we listen to our customers, and within our app, you can also customize, for example, the output of your bike. So this one has 160 Nm of torque, which is crazy, but it also consumes a lot. So you want to reduce the power output of your bike. You don't want maybe your daughter is taking it and she's 16 and she's not allowed to drive at 45 kilometers. You can cap the speed of the bike. So all of this is customizable for your bike, of course, within the legal legislations. And lastly, this bike will also be equipped with an anti-theft mode. Our bikes are already, but this one is the next level. So it automatically alerts you when it gets stolen. And one thing that makes us different from the rest is that we have an agreement with the local police. So all the bikes that we got, we work with them. We're actually dismantling some networks of theft around the cities, and we get the bikes back. So with this, thank you for bearing with me. We have the bikes. We're more than happy to welcome you later. So if you want to try the next level of e-SUV bikes. Thank you.